Okay, welcome to another edition of Hitting Buckets, our golf podcast where we talk about golf's most recent stories and try our best to pick some winners. So let's get right to it. I'm going to switch right here. Congratulations, Phil Mickelson, our 2021 PGA champion. Just like we all predicted, the 50-year-old Phil Mickelson would come on top. Hey, Ryan, did you know Phil was 50?
Yeah, yeah. All the talk this weekend, the 50-year-old winning in the longest course in PGA Tour history for a major. So good on him.
Yeah, definitely big congrats to Phil. Always been a Phil fan. Um, didn't have him, obviously. I didn't see it coming. He really had one lightning round, I think, a few weeks ago. He shot a 64, but quickly disappeared. I kind of thought that was going to happen over the weekend, but great performance, historic performance by Phil. Could go on and on, but I'm not going to right now. Ryan, give me some of your thoughts on the tournament, how it played out.
I mean, it was fun to watch. The course itself was awesome. First of all, on Thursday, I don't think I've watched that much TV in a 24-hour period since university. I mean, golf was on as soon as we woke up. Red Sox and Jays are playing both NBA and NHL playoff games at night. So put a good shift in on the couch Thursday for sure. But I mean, the Sunday round with Brooks and Phil going head to head, what more could you ask for? We were both on Brooks at 45-1, and a major for Brooks was just an unreal number. Like you said, all weekend we were just kind of waiting for Phil to blow up and Brooks to turn it on. But come Sunday, he didn't have his best stuff. He was +3 on the par fives, which that is not like him at all. And it was hard. It was hard to root against Phil, that's for sure. But after he chipped in on that greenside bunker on, I think it was like the fifth hole, you just kind of had a feeling he wasn't going away. And that scene on the closing hole was nuts with all the fans running around, spreading COVID everywhere. And I think Phil's a lot like Rory, thrives off that. And it sucked losing that Brooks bet, but it was awesome to see Phil take it down. 50 years old, 200-1 to win the tournament. Pretty good story.
Yeah, I mean, couldn't agree more. You hit on something that, the weekend of sports, so much going on. I think that kind of emphasizes the point last week how I love the PGA being in this time slot now, where you get the majors, the April, May, June, July, throw that PGA in that May time slot, and there's so much good sports on. It was a great sports weekend. We want to hit a couple of the big story surprises of the weekend. Obviously, nothing's bigger than Phil winning, but want to give a couple of quick shout outs to a couple guys who had really, maybe for one at least, career altering tournament. Harry Higgs, top 5. I believe that gets him into the Masters field guaranteed. So congrats for him. Another shout out, Ricky Fowler, top 10. Like to see that. I like Ricky. I like him being in the mix. It was nice seeing him around. Obviously, if you're just watching the Sunday coverage, you're seeing all Phil, Brooks, a little bit of Louis, but Ricky, kind of a good bounce back. Hopefully see some things from him shortly. And then other than Phil, my biggest takeaway of this tournament, my not surprised, but what I liked, I'm going to give a shout out to the course. I loved the Ocean course. I loved just the competition there where it kept the scores. You could score there, but it was difficult to score there. The winds were just challenging enough. It didn't take over the rounds, but for sure, I think, and I've seen this from a lot of people, whatever we can do to get another PGA competition at this course, the sooner the better, whether it's a PGA Championship, US Open, or maybe they have an anniversary Ryder Cup there sometime after that epic 91 Ryder Cup. But the course was awesome. Like you said, a lot of TV watching over the weekend. Weather wasn't good outside, so perfect weekend to watch some golf. Ryan, tell me some of your surprises, stories that I missed on that maybe got lost in the shuffle with Phil's big win.
Yeah, I think another thing that kind of continued a trend was Padraig Harrington. Another guy, he's a year away from turning 50 himself, finishes T4. So the Ryder Cup captain, I mean, he had a very friendly pairing with the fellow Irishman, Shane Lowry, and they kind of low-key crushed it. They went out there, one of the longest courses, like we said, one of the strongest fields that we've seen so far this year, and Podrick Harrington's tied for fourth. Now maybe he'll pick himself as one of the captain's picks for the Ryder Cup. Who knows how that's going to play out? But and I think the other big surprise was Louis O again, finishing second. So he already had the Silver Slam locked up for finishing second in all four majors, and he just added to it again. It's so hard to believe that guy doesn't have a win in North America yet, but it was another strong showing for him and Team South Africa as a whole. I mean, they're really putting together some good golf from over there in South Africa.
Yeah, and not the right guy, not my guy that I picked, but they're all over the leaderboard. All right, quick segue over to some disappointments, because there were some disappointments. I'm going to go quickly. The obvious one for me would be JT missing the cut, because I did pick him to win. I gave a nice spiel about he could be the best golfer in the world, so that's an obvious one. But I'm not going to let Mark Leishman go untouched on this podcast. He was a big disappointment. He was a popular pick, and I think I forget the measurement, but it's like a 3 or 4 footer on his 36 hole to make the cut, and he blows it. I mean, you make that putt in +5, very easily he could have done what a lot of guys did, backdoor into the top 10, top 20 and hit that bet. But so obviously 2 guys on my card were disappointments, JT being pretty big considering top 3 golfer in the world. And then just to make sure he's not forgotten, Mark Leishman, you were on my fantasy teams. You were on my picks for the pod. I saw that putt. So congratulations. Huge disappointment, Mark Leishman.
Yeah, that was no good. And I know a good buddy of ours wasn't very happy about it. But I mean, for disappointing for me, I mean, 3 of the top 4 golfers in the world did not make the cut, with DJ, JT, and my guy Xander. So Xander was obviously the big disappointment for me. Just a totally off tournament for him, for a guy that's pretty much automatic at majors to contend. Missed cut was super surprising for me. I guess the silver lining is maybe it'll give him a little dip in the number for the U.S. Open, but yeah, it wasn't a very good week for Xander Schauffele.
Yeah, no doubt. So before we get into the next tournament, in honor of Phil's big win, it made me start to think about the historical impact of a win like that. Phil being 50, got his 6th major, and Phil. And actually, I'll ask the question first, and then I'll give the crazy stat that kind of blew my mind. So Phil at 6, current golfers, who's most likely to get 6 majors first? Brooks Koepka, who has 4, Rory McIlroy, who has 4, Jordan Spieth, who has 3 right now, or other. And I say, I'll go to that fact. Phil was 33 when he won his first major. He has 6 now. Rory just turned 32. Brooks is 31, and Spieth is either 27 or 28. So crazy to think Phil never won one until he's 33, and all these guys I just listed are younger than that. So Ryan, who do you got out of that group to be the first to hit 6 and tie Phil, if Phil's done?
Listen, I was tempted to go off the board here and go with Matthew Wolff, but then I saw the Brooks interview with Bryson when he walks behind him last night. And the only answer here is the legend Brooks Koepka. I mean, we could talk for an hour about the video that has 10 million views now, and I think it's deleted from history right now by the PGA. But let's stay on track here. He admittedly, he's just one of these guys. He gets up for majors. Since 2017, he's played in 14 major championships. He's won 4 of them. He's finished second twice, and he's placed in top 10 in 3 others. So, I mean, over 30% of his tour winnings have come from major events. He's only 31 years old, like you said. Phil just won his 6th at 50 years old. So in the next 19 years, Brooks Koepka, like the major hunter, is probably going to double his total of 4 majors so far. And I'd bet by the time he's 50, he's in double digits.
Wow. So crazy stat number 2, Phil 33 first one. When Tiger won his 14th, he was 32 years old, and he's won 1 since. So the flip side of that coin is you'd never think Tiger would only have 1 more when he was Rory's age. So obviously it's hard to get. Brooks, by all account, is the right answer, barring the health thing. He's the one with the injuries. But can never predict that stuff. Phil stayed healthy, good for him. So my quick rebuttal before I move on is I'm taking Spieth. I think he's back. I think he had a little blip in his career, but he's pretty much been the best golfer this year. Could have easily won the Masters. I know he's one behind Rory and Brooks right now, but if I had to choose between those three or the field, someone else, Jordan Spieth is who I think will get to six first. He's got multiple Masters ahead of him, and he'll figure out a way to win another major somewhere else. Okay, on to the next tournament. Quickly throw up where we're going here. The Charles Schwab Challenge. Here I thought we were done in Texas, but we're back. We're Texas, either before a major or right after a major. But it's one of the longest standing tournaments in the PGA. It's played Fort Worth, Texas. By all accounts, not like last week. This is a course that's not going to reward the distance. It's going to be a precision course. Also, another little note on the Charles Schwab, it was the first tournament back after the COVID restart last year. So last year, when looking at previous results, put that into account that it was pretty much like a major with the field, everyone coming back and playing it. That being said, still a pretty strong field here, even the week after a major. And we'll get to these names, but before we get to these names, let's get to three particular names, and that being your picks for wins this week.
So here's my logic this week for picking my outrights. There's 5 favorites this week: Spieth, Morikawa, JT, Reed, and Berger. I think Kiowa took a lot out of Spieth and Morikawa. It was a grind. That's what everyone's saying of a course to play. Not to mention they had to deal with extra media obligations as last year's champion and the potential career Grand Slam for Spieth. So I'm hoping that kind of makes a little lull for them. JT's number is real short, and he's kind of been spraying the ball a bit off the tee. So I think this course, the approach shot's very important, which he's one of, if not the best at. But you're going to see that in my outrights later anyway. But I'm really good iron players is what I was looking at for this tournament. But you also have to position yourself well off the tee to get the right shots into the green. So I'm gonna use this week as a get right week for JT. Hopefully, Berger, I never really play anyone to defend. He's last year's champion. I think Reed fits well here, but the guys I went with instead, Abraham Answer 21-1. I mean, once we see these fields come out every Friday, we're excited to see the fields for the next tournament. So I take a look at it and have some early leans. Answer was the first guy who kind of popped out to me. He then went on to shoot a 65 on Sunday at Kiowa, and he's a Texas guy. So the problem is everyone has the same idea here. He's playing some of the best golf of his career, coming off 3 straight top 10s, hasn't missed a cut in 8 tournaments. So I don't love the number, but that doesn't change the fact that this course just lines up perfectly for him. So I like his odds to get his first PGA victory. Second guy I'm going with is Corey Connors, 26-1. The good old Canadian kid. He's got 8 straight made cuts, and he's coming in hot after the first round lead at the PGA. Huge Leafs fan. So he went out and shot that number on Thursday. Then the Leafs went out and lost Thursday night, and I think it just kind of threw him off his game for the rest of the weekend. So the Leafs are coming off 2 wins now. The mojo's back. They're up 3-0 right now, knock on wood, in game 4. So I'm hoping Connors, he's a flusher with his irons. He's going to be attacking flags here at Colonial. So I like his chances. And then my third pick is Will Zalatoris, also 26-1. So Thrills here has 3 top 10s and 3 straight majors. No big deal. He's a Dallas kid. I think he's going to win at some point this year. Why not here? Another guy, great ball striker. Since his debut in just last season, only JT and Morikawa ranked better than him in strokes gained approach. Another guy looking for his first PGA Tour win. So I think he makes a real run here in Texas.
Okay. So I agree with everything you said at the start, where I'm kind of avoiding the heavy favorites. Numbers too low. Berger, yeah, I don't like taking guys to repeat either. But I did take one of the guys you did mention not taking. My first pick is Patrick Reed at 23-1. I don't know. I just like him in this course where take away the distance where he's not great at this point of his career if he was ever. Coming top 17th last week at the PGA, top 10 Masters, top 6 Wells Fargo. So good recent form. He was top 10 here last year with a strong field. He's great putter, second in putting, and around the greens, he's top 20 in the PGA. So and he wins. Like he's just one of these guys that seems to get a win or two every year. The numbers match what I like at this course. So Patrick Reed is my first pick. Second pick, Sanjay Im at 31-1. Another top 17 at the PGA, so good recent form. Really good putter as well. Went and found another stat to fit this course. He's really good off the tee, but not in distance. It's his driving accuracy. So at a shorter course, I like this driving accuracy. He's got good iron play. Also top 10 here last year. So Sanjay Im, 31-1. And my third pick is Charlie Hoffman at 41-1. And coincidentally, I did not plan this, also tied for 17th at the PGA last week. So these three guys all finished even par, top 17 on a tough course. Charlie, looking at his recent form, it's just a model of consistency. Since March, he's been top 20 in every tournament. He came second at the Valero. And the one tournament he didn't come top 20 in since March, I'm kind of throwing this out. He came 34th at Punta Cana, an off-field event while the top 50 guys were at the WGC. Charlie had his worst performance, so I'm throwing that he just went to Dominican for a little vacation and had some golf on the side because it doesn't make any sense when you look at the rest of his results in the last 3 months. So those are my 3 outright picks. Yeah, Ryan, I'll throw it over to you and we'll give some other picks.
Yeah. So for my bonus picks this week, so I got Gary Woodland as a top 5. He's paying $10. I just think he's finally getting healthy and back to his major championship form. His irons are hot right now. He's won in Texas before, so I really like him to contend this week. My second pick is Brian Harman, top 10, paying $4. So finished top 20 in 3 of his last 5. Didn't have a good week last week here in Kiowa, but there's just some courses that the length alone is going to play him out of it. I think this one lines up really good for him, and I think it's going to be a good week for Birdie Brian. And my third pick is Emiliano Grillo to be a top 20, and that's paying $280. Another one of those guys that can really pin seat, can't putt. So just hoping to get a good putting week here. Keeping up with my theme of short, accurate hitters. I like him to post a top 20 here, and I like him for a first round leader too.
Sorry, Ryan, I threw you off there. Go do your one in the bottom there, our other pick, or off the.
Oh,
Oops.
sorry for the bonus pick. I'm heading back to the Euro Tour there. My guy Guido Migliozzi, 41-1. Not much to say about this. I've been riding the Italian Stallion, so it's got a pretty good number this week in a field that doesn't look super strong. So I'm gonna go with him again here this week.
Okay, sorry about that mix-up. Okay, we'll go to my quick picks. I didn't like his number to win, Colin Morikawa, but I really don't see a world where he's not at least in it on Sunday. So I'm going to go pretty heavy on Colin on top 10, 2.37-1. He lost in the playoff last year. Elite iron player. This course is great for him. Number was too low to win, but top 10, Colin Morikawa. Top 20, I'm going Ryan Palmer, 3.25-1. It's his home course. Honestly, not really going much further than that other than I like the guy. I haven't really seen him recently, but hometown course here, top 23.25-1. Ian Poulter, top Great Britain and Ireland, 6.5-1. Like how this course lines up for Poulter. His main competition here is Justin Rose, who's been really good here. So a little concern there, but I'm getting pretty good odds at 6.5 to 1. So Poulter has been consistent. He's usually around top 20, top 25 in a lot of tournaments this year. He's been really good in Texas, really good in match play, and good here. So that's why I'm going with Poulter. And then my last bonus play, honestly, there were some options out there. The LPGA has a match play event, which could be interesting, but I do not like betting outrights on match play after that in the PGA a few months back. We have a major for the seniors tour, but didn't like what I saw there for numbers. So I decided to go to the Euro Tour, and this is for my uncle Steven, his guy, Hatong Lee. His pick in our family draft hasn't really done much for us. This isn't going to do anything for us either in the Euro Tour, but might win us a couple bucks. Throw a little flyer on him at 226 to 1. Didn't see anything I really liked, so I thought I'd give a shout out to my uncle and go with Lee here at 226 to 1.
Big number.
Okay. Yeah, that one pays off. Then all my models, all my research out the window. Just do family shout outs. Should have done that last week with my Uncle Bill with Phil.
I'm a little upset you didn't say the word Trixie this week yet.
No, the Trixie's retired for now. I don't even think I was close to hitting one of those. So when we close out with one and done, we're going to go over Ryan's pick a little more in depth because we're about halfway through the season. We have 8 tournaments left, and Ryan's third out of 1,051 teams. So this is a huge decision here. And when we go over the favorites, I believe you've already used Spieth.
Yep.
You've used Morikawa.
Yep.
Okay, so tell me why you're not using JT.
Well, I mean, I'm going to fight with this for the next 48 hours for sure. I think Spieth and Morikawa line up perfectly. I'll already use them. I like Reed. Already used him. So I got 8 weeks left. Do I want to burn JT right now? I already told you why I don't think he's going to do too well here. That being said, he's the number 2 golfer in the world. It's a safe pick. You got to think other people I'm playing against are going to use him, which also comes into play right now. Or do I use one of my guys that I'm picking to go outright this week? So right now I'm leaning towards answer Zalatoris. I don't know. Is that crazy? What do you think?
Honestly, I think you should not even be thinking about what other people are doing. There's only 2 people ahead of you, so who cares what the majority's doing? You're really playing against 2 guys. Yeah, one of them might take Thomas, but good chance they're taking Morikawa here or Spieth. But if you're a little off on the JT scent because he just missed a cut, then yeah, then you got to kind of go through your 3 outrights because you've had confidence put your money on these 3 guys. So you kind of have to rank the 3 guys. But my point is JT's got short odds. If you're giving all these guys even odds, you're getting JT at 26 to 1 like Connors, or you're getting a 23 to 1 like Answer. You playing JT outright here?
Yeah, damn right.
So yeah, I mean, so obviously you don't have your decision made yet. You got 24 hours to make this decision.
Yeah, it's going to be every decision from here on out is going to be, unless I bomb it 2 weeks in a row, then I'll probably drop. But I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. It's going to be a game time decision, but it'll probably be one of JT, Answer, or Zalatoris, I would say.
Okay. Well, my final thought on your choice on one and done is just make sure Jay Walsh doesn't pick it for you. That would be my best advice.
You think Jason Sobel?
Oh, sorry, Jason Sobel. Little name drop on. Sorry, Jason Sobel. But
Friend of the pod.
Yeah, friend of the pod. Okay, well, that wraps up another edition. We're due. I can tell we're due. We almost had Brooks last week when a lot of people were shying away. Another weekend of golf, but Ryan, see you next week.
See you later, Scott.